What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and for years people have been clamoring for the Luke Skywalker they felt they deserved from Disney Star Wars. And after the season finale of The Mandalorian, the internet exploded because for so many people, they got just that. They got a Luke Skywalker that was the hero they felt he should have been after Return of the Jedi. But unfortunately, for a lot of those people, those couple minutes that they saw, they realized where it eventually leads. And it all eventually leads to the failure of Luke Skywalker in the sequel trilogy, in The Last Jedi. But now, we have yet another rumor that's saying that might not be the case, that maybe Lucasfilm is going to fix Luke Skywalker. They are going to retcon Luke Skywalker into the hero that everyone feels he should be. Is that going to be true? I don't know, but let's take a look at it. This is where it comes from. Pirates and Princesses, rumored spoilers, Star Wars roadmap to redeem Luke Skywalker. Now, this does come from WDW Pro. I have some issues with this article. I'm going to talk about them. We're going to go over the actual roadmap, the information that this person is putting out there, and also about the article itself and why I have some doubts as to if this will actually happen. Disney is getting read 4 words into the article, and there's already a misspelling. If you want people to take yourself really seriously, maybe take a look at that. Disney is getting read. All right, Disney is getting ready to retcon the Star Wars universe in order to make the sequel trilogy less problematic for their merchandising. I believe I have the roadmap forward they're planning to use. So we're going to talk about that roadmap. I'm going to get to the roadmap first, then I'm going to go back and look at everything in this article and say why I'm a little bit skeptical of it. But I know everybody wants to hear that roadmap first, so let me get to it. The entire idea of why this person thinks this is happening and why it makes sense for it to happen is because Luke Skywalker sells. And I think that's quite obvious. That's something that so many people and critics of Disney Star Wars have been saying for years, that Luke Skywalker moves merchandise. Luke Skywalker gets people's attention. I think that's true, obviously. We just saw, I've talked about my feelings on Luke Skywalker's appearance. As cool as it was, it's completely unearned. And to me, it just leads to the Luke we saw in The Last Jedi. So to me, it's kind of just dangling keys. That's how I feel about it. But for a lot of people, it worked. A lot of people are pretty much on board, like completely now, because of that. And I get that. You're welcome to feel that way. If that's what you wanted, that's all you wanted from Star Wars, I'm happy that you're happy. But that's not enough for me. But with that being said, it's quite obvious by the response overall that it really worked. That everyone is kind of was obsessed with that moment, and regardless of whatever happened before that, any of the shitty writing that happened in this series leading up to that, they were happy with that. So it makes sense to me that Lucasfilm may see that and be like, wow, let's do more Luke stuff right now. This is what he's saying. This is the roadmap. In The Mandalorian, Luke Skywalker takes on Grogu, Baby Yoda, as his Padawan. However, Grogu's blood has already been extracted by the forces of the dark side, which will use it to bring about the sequences leading up to the sequel trilogy. Grogu does not die when Kylo Ren attacks and kills Luke Skywalker's Jedis in training. I will point out that if you actually read that comic, I wouldn't pay for it if I were you, but if you actually read it, you can see that it's not really Kylo Ren attacking the temple. It's kind of Palpatine Snoke. Those are the ones who actually created that Force Storm to destroy the Jedi Temple. It's not actually Kylo Ren. And the apprentices then confront Kylo Ren. That's when he kills him. It's not like he really hunts them down, to be perfectly honest with you. But that aside, Grogu does not die when that happens. Luke will be retconned to have expected Ben Solo to do so and will have made the painful decision to send Grogu into hiding before it occurs. So not only does Grogu survive Order 66 by being swept away and put into hiding, but he also survives this next purge by doing the same thing. Okay, got it. Very lucky for him. Part of that intersects with the Mandalorian story, so I'm not going to go into detail about that here, as I think it would spoil the whole series if they stay with that plan and I type it out for everyone to read. So just to be clear, this person doesn't want to spoil the specifics, but they are going to spoil the entire arc and the entire retcon of this character and what their plan would be for the next several years. Okay, yeah. Press the I believe button. Got it. In the sequel trilogy, it will be retconned so that Luke's actions of being in hiding, pretending to hate the Jedi, etc., are all an act to protect Grogu from being found by the dark side, including protecting him from Rey. So this is what they're saying. They're not going to say, oh, the sequels never happened. They're going to say the sequels happened just the way they happened. But Luke Skywalker, he was just acting the entire time, guys. Don't worry. All of this, him of failure stuff, all of him running away from everything, it's just an act to protect Grogu. That's essentially what this is saying. But Grogu is placed in danger by Rey because she takes the sacred Jedi texts, not knowing that Grogu is part of an ancient prophecy in a book called the Ramagon. It will be revealed that Luke couldn't bring himself to burn the books that he believed would place Grogu in danger, even though he knew it must be done. So Luke Skywalker does all this. Luke Skywalker abandons the fucking universe, the galaxy, in order to protect Grogu, but he won't burn the book. So that's why Force Ghost Yoda has to come in and do it. Okay, again, press the I believe button. In the end, it turns out that when Anakin Skywalker brought balance to the Force by killing the Emperor, that somehow will tie into Grogu being the child that the Force rests upon to bring peace throughout the galaxy. So it didn't work when Rey was the chosen one, so this is suggesting that essentially Grogu is the chosen one. Anakin brought balance, but now Grogu's going to do the rest. Grogu will be a new type of Jedi that unites dark and light, with Anakin and Luke both training him somehow. That is the roadmap that is supposedly in the works. Now, a couple issues I have with this, other than the ones I pointed out while talking about the reasons why I'm kind of skeptical of all of that information in general, is because how this entire thing is set up. So other than the typo in the fourth word, the entire first several paragraphs is essentially, just so you guys know, I've been right about a lot of scoops before, and WDW Pro has been right about some things before, also has been wrong about some things. And one of the things that WDW Pro does in the first 4 paragraphs is just say, hey, by the way, Grace Randolph was really, really wrong about shit, just so you guys know, and just bashes Grace Randolph. I know a lot of people despise Grace Randolph. What he's talking about is her rumor about the Pedro Pascal behind-the-scenes drama. Now that it's coming out and people are like, hey, there's going to be a Mandalorian Season 3, she was so wrong. Listen, Grace wasn't the only one to report this stuff. Den of Nerds has also come out with some things very similar to what Grace has said. And even the person that told me that Luke Skywalker was going to be in The Mandalorian, Drunk 3PO's contact, shout out to Drunk 3PO, said that the Pedro drama, there's something very real was going on set with that. The fact that the Book of Boba Fett is coming out where The Mandalorian Season 3 should have been coming out. We do not yet have a release date for Mandalorian Season 3. If that's not a clear indicator to you that there was definitely something going on, the fact that Episode 7 seemed solely to give Pedro Pascal more face time, the fact that Episode 6 of this season, the Boba Fett one, Robert Rodriguez, was a rushed replacement director who only got 19 pages of script that had to ad-lib the rest in order to get this big Boba Fett introduction. If that doesn't tell you that there was something going on, whether it's resolved or not, likely has been resolved. If that doesn't tell you that there was something going on in the background that Disney is trying to cover up and hide, then I really don't know what to tell you. It's very obvious if you look at it. Now, the specifics of it, you can argue about that all you want. The simple fact is, we're not getting a Mandalorian Season 3 for over a year from when we got Season 2. It could be much longer than that. It could be sometime 2022 in the later half of 2022 if some of the shooting schedules we've heard are accurate. That is interesting to say the least for this big thing that has been such a great success for Disney+. So that's another reason why I don't really understand why this person spends so much time talking about that in this article. And then they go on to say, we've got all of this stuff right, you should really trust us. However, take this with a grain of salt. To me, if you're a scooper, if you're in the scooping business, don't talk about all the shit that you got right before. Just put the information out there. Your reputation's going to speak for yourself. We know who WW Pro is. We know they've been right about stuff and wrong about stuff. Just leave it at that. As far as will this work? Listen, for me, the only thing that's really going to work is if they completely decanonize and, real retcon the sequel trilogy. But even so, I have big issues with The Mandalorian as far as continuity, as far as lore, all of these things. I think that if they did this, if they were like, hey guys, just so you know, Luke Skywalker, he was just faking it the whole time. He wasn't really a piece of shit failure. He was just faking it. I think that will get them back 90% of their audience, to be honest with you. I really do. Seeing the reaction to just a couple minutes of a kind of shoddy CGI Luke Skywalker, the de-aging technology, seeing the reaction to that, how people have just been so supportive, regardless of any of the other problems, I think that will get them a lot of fans back if they take that road. I don't think they're ever actually decanonizing the sequel trilogy. I said that over and over again. They connected. This show was used in a lot of ways to connect to the sequel trilogy and the rise of the First Order. From the mentions of Operation Cinder, from the use of Cobb Vanth, someone from the Chuck Wendig Aftermath novels that was the lead up to The Force Awakens, to dropping Canto Bight, was name dropped in the first season, to all of this connections to Snoke and the rise of the First Order. It all is very clear. Baby Yoda used Force healing days before we saw Rey use Force healing in The Rise of Skywalker. It is connected to the sequel trilogy, whether you want to accept that or not. As far as the validity of this rumor, I have my doubts, but who knows what's actually going on in Lucasfilm. They're keeping things so close to the vest. I want to hear your thoughts. If they do this, would it be enough for you? Is that enough for you to come back? Would it be enough anyway? With just this Luke Skywalker you already got, is that enough? Or would you accept nothing less than a full retcon, an actual retcon of the sequel trilogy by saying it doesn't exist? Let me know, smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.